Nancy Pelosi announces retirement after 4 decades in Congress. Former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has announced her retirement from Congress, confirming she will not seek re-election after more than 40 years of representing San Francisco. In a 5-minute video message, the 85-year-old Democrat expressed deep gratitude to her constituents, saying there has been no greater honor than to serve as their voice in Washington. Pelosi, who made history as the first woman to serve as Speaker of the House, held the position from 2007 to 2011 and again from 2019 to 2023, widely regarded as one of the most powerful figures in American politics. She played pivotal roles in passing landmark legislation such as the Affordable Care Act and in leading Democratic opposition to former President Donald Trump, most memorably when she tore up his 2020 State of the Union address. Pelosi described her decision as a heartfelt farewell to public service, emphasizing the importance of unity, democracy, and continued progress. Despite stepping down, her influence remains strong within the Democratic Party, where her voice and leadership are still seen as shaping its direction. Federal agents conduct operations across Chicago neighborhoods. Federal agents conducted large-scale operations across several Chicago neighborhoods on Friday, traveling in black subs and heavily armed while making multiple stops throughout the city. Residents reported that agents exited their vehicles, displaying their weapons, though it remains unclear who or what the targets of the operation were. The surprise presence of federal officers disrupted daily routines, with locals going about school runs and errands when the agents arrived. Community leaders quickly mobilized volunteers to follow and monitor the agents, honking horns and blowing whistles to alert neighbors. Tensions escalated at one intersection near 30th 1 and Western, where agents reportedly cut off another driver, causing a crash before taking a female driver into custody. According to the Little Village Community Council, the detained woman is a U.S. citizen, and legal support has been arranged for her. Local leaders condemned the operation, accusing federal authorities of acting without empathy and causing fear in the community. Nationwide, investors filed lawsuits over alleged Chicago housing scam. People across the United States are claiming they were defrauded in what's being described as an alleged housing investment scheme centered in Chicago. The controversy involves multiple vacant and boarded-up homes on the city's south side, which were supposed to be rehabilitated by Steve Raymond, CEO of Selective real estate investments. Instead, the properties remain untouched, leading to lawsuits from at least 8 investors nationwide, who say they've lost thousands of dollars. Investors described devastating financial losses. According to court filings, investors were promised a return of 30 to 33% interest on their loans within 6 months, along with the return of their principal investment. However, many report waiting more than a year without receiving payments. Several allege that any early interest payments they did receive came from funds of newer investors, suggesting a Ponzi-style operation. Losses reportedly range from $75,000 to $550,000, leaving many victims financially devastated. Videos show Raymond pitching high return promises. Attorney Anna Minamar, representing multiple plaintiffs, presented YouTube videos and Zoom recordings where Raymond appears to promote his investment business, boasting of his control over both property purchases and renovations. In these videos, he urges investors to seize the huge upside of the Chicago housing market, promises that now appear empty as lawsuits pile up. Raymond denies fraud allegations. Raymond's attorney has publicly denied all claims of fraud or wrongdoing, insisting that the cases are merely foreclosure actions being exaggerated by the plaintiff's legal team. He said there was no Ponzi scheme or other fraudulent conduct whatsoever, and argued that the lawsuits were an attempt to gain leverage by using media attention to pressure his client. Community leaders reached to neighborhood blight. 2 of the abandoned homes at the heart of the case fall within Chicago's 6th Ward, represented by Alderman William Hall, who condemned the impact on local residents. Neighbors have also complained about the growing number of vacant houses attracting squatters. calling the situation harmful to community safety and property values. Ongoing legal battle and caution to investors. Raymond's attorney stated that several properties are nearing completion and will be listed for sale soon, promising that loan repayments are being handled as diligently as possible. However, Raymond has not yet filed official legal responses to the lawsuits. Reporters advised potential investors to thoroughly research any company before investing, warning that if a return sounds too good to be true, it likely is. The investigation into the alleged housing scheme remains ongoing. Federal judge orders full SNAP funding amid ongoing government shutdown debate. A federal judge has ruled that the administration must fully fund the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program SNAP, setting off another round of political and legal tension as the government shutdown continues. The Justice Department has already announced plans to appeal the decision. Responding to the ruling, Republican leaders called it an absurd order, arguing that the court cannot dictate how the administration allocates limited resources during what they described as a Democrat government shutdown. Officials maintained that President Biden's administration is working to keep essential services running while urging Democrats to reopen the government to restore full funding to programs like SNAP. Trump criticizes Biden overspending and inflation ahead of Thanksgiving. In his remarks, former President Donald Trump condemned the judge's decision and accused President Biden of mismanaging federal funds, particularly by expanding SNAP benefits to able-bodied individuals. Trump compared the current situation to his tenure, claiming that under his leadership, government assistance programs were more efficient and targeted toward those truly in need. He also cited data from Walmart, stating that the cost of a traditional Thanksgiving meal is now 25% higher under Biden than it was during his presidency. Trump argued that energy and grocery prices were significantly lower during his administration, blaming Democrats for the sharp rise in living costs and Republicans call for end to shutdown and emphasize economic strength. Republican officials asserted that the ongoing government shutdown is harming Americans and warned that, if prolonged, it could lead to travel delays and the suspension of key benefits such as SNAP. They accused Democrats of using the shutdown as a political tactic and urged them to stop the charade and work toward reopening the government. Trump, meanwhile, claimed that the U.S. economy is stronger under Republican policies, pointing to falling inflation, rising energy independence, and new investments in manufacturing. He predicted what he called an upcoming economic revolution, with job creation and industrial growth leading the country to new prosperity once political gridlock ends. A knife-wielding woman tased by police after parking lot rampage. A tense and dramatic scene unfolded in Toronto on Saturday afternoon when police officers responded to reports of a woman holding two large knives and damaging several vehicles in a parking lot near Jane Street and Alliance Avenue. According to police, the call came in around 3:30 p.m. about a woman seen slashing the tires of police cars with the knives. When officers arrived, they found her walking around with the weapons in her hands. After giving several warnings that were ignored, officers used a taser to try to bring her under control. The situation quickly took an unexpected turn when an unmarked police car accidentally rolled forward during the arrest. The vehicle hit both the suspect and one of the officers before coming to a stop. Police confirmed that no one was seriously injured. The woman was taken to the hospital for medical assessment, which is standard procedure after a taser is used. Police say the woman is now facing charges of mischief under $5,000 and possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. An internal review has been launched to examine how the vehicle moved during the incident. Authorities have described the event as a very tense and fast-moving situation. The case has also renewed public discussion about police training and how officers handle encounters with armed individuals. Investigators are continuing to review the incident, and police have asked the public to stay clear of the area while the scene is processed. No further details about the suspect's condition have been released so far.